What is going on, Cardmunity? We have a video response video today for Swing Away Sportscards' little fantasy contest that he's got going on. Swing Away Sports Fantasy, hashtag SAS Fantasy. He wants us to come up with our dream fantasy lineup. He said you could do a short lineup or the full fantasy lineup, the one that's got 5 outfielders and multiple positions, and like second base, and then there's a second base shortstop. So I'm doing the full one today. He said shout out some channels who have under 200 subscribers in the Cardmunity and tell him what your number one pick would be. So first, I'm just going to go through the whole lineup. I'm going to show a card of every player and post the whole team. And at the end, I'll do the shoutouts and tell you who out of all my players is my number one pick. So first, starting off just going by position. Not in the order of any picks yet. So catching is Salvador Perez. I think he really, of course, exploded last season with his homers. But he's also, when he's not catching, he's DHing. And not many catchers today do that. They are sitting on the bench. So for the catching position for Classic Cards Fantasy Dream lineup is Salvador Perez. Next up, we are going with first base. Just going to go around the horn, starting off with catcher and going in the direction of first base. We have, of course, a new youngin. Also had a great year last year. I think this is not a surprise. Probably most of these picks won't be a surprise to a lot of people. We got a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Of course, started off at third base, and then eventually they moved him to first. I think that's probably where he's going to stay. So for our dream lineup, first baseman, Vladdy Guerrero. Next up, we're going to second base. I'll give you guys out there one guesses as to who I'm gonna pick. I know some of you figured he would make an appearance, and of course he has to. Second baseman in the dream lineup team, none other than the Fletchman, David Fletcher. All right, moving along. We're skipping shortstop. I guess for some reason that's listed after third. Third base, we have no, not Anthony Rendon, but Jose Ramirez, J-Ram. Especially in fantasy, a lot of them count stolen bases, so he is definitely ahead of his competition on that third base. Also thought of Austin Riley, but boom, went ahead and selected J-Ram as my fantasy dream lineup third baseman. Jose Ramirez. Then we're circling back to shortstop. This guy got pulled from shortstop a little bit last year because of injuries. Some people say it was errors, but it was really an injury. And hopefully he'll be sticking that short and only get better as far as the defensiveness. Of course, Fernando Tatis Jr. Some of these cards you guys have seen before on this channel. This is my best Tatis card auto, and it's a young blue Tatis rookie auto from Bowman Platinum. That is our shortstop in our dream lineup. Then we got a couple not really backups, because in the full fantasy lineup you get multiple positions. So we got a slot for another second baseman or shortstop, and then we have another slot for a first baseman or third baseman. So that's what these two guys are. And the first one, second base shortstop, I am selecting Tim Anderson in my dream fantasy lineup. Tim Anderson, not along with great going along with great defense is his great bat-to-ball skills. He always gets a great batting average and can hit one out every once in a while. So that's why Timmy Anderson is our fantasy dream shortstop / second base slot there. And with the first baseman, third baseman slot, of course, none other than the milkman, Jared Walsh himself. Got his gold rookie right here from 2019 update. Jared Walsh is going to be the first baseman, third baseman slot in the Fantasy Dream lineup, aka the milkman. He always delivers. Moving on to our 5 outfielder slots. That's right, 5 outfielders, so they're not going to be designated center, right, or left. They're just going to be all 5 outfield in no particular order. Starting first, young Mr. All-World. Apparently turned down a $350 million offer for 13 years. Some people think he's going to be the first $500 million guy. Juan Soto. Soto Mania. Unfortunately, all alone on the Nationals now by himself. All the star power pretty much is gone. It's all him. I think he's going to get the Barry Bonds treatment. So, first outfielder slot, Juan Soto. Second outfielder slot, I don't think anybody will be surprised in choosing him. And probably going to be on every single team. Mike Trout. That's right, the Kingfish Man. And Mike Trout. So, if I had to pick, he's probably going to be my center fielder. But again, it's just 5 outfield slots. So, dream lineup, outfield slot 2 goes to Mike Trout. Outfield slot 3, how about another junior? That's right, Ronnie Acuna Jr. You can see there's no pieces of yellow gear on him. This was before he had turned into a construction worker on the field every day. Some new piece of yellow gear. This is a young Ronnie with no construction experience yet. We got him for the 3rd outfielder slot in the dream lineup. And 4th outfielder slot in the dream lineup, big Yankee, and I emphasis on big. We got the Judge. Aaron Judge is going to be patrolling the outfield for our Fantasy Dream team. And to round out the outfield on the Fantasy Dream team, not the biggest fan of him, but I kind of had to include him in here just because the caliber player he is. Of course, we will put Bryce Harper, old teammate of Soto. Imagine if you had Harper and Soto on one team nowadays. It would be similar to a Shohei Trout duo. But there we go, Gallery of Greats, gold out of 50. I think that's from 2015. Bryce Harper. So those guys are going to be patrolling our outfield for the Dream Team. Okay, and in the full lineup, we do have a utility position, which basically is the DH, or anything you want it to be. But of course, like I had last year in the fantasy team, we had the DH on most days. But then once a week, he switched around and became a pitcher for me. We're going to do that in the Dream Fantasy lineup. We, of course, got the big boy around town these days, Shohei Ohtani. That's right. So we'll go ahead and slot somebody else in the utility spot on the days he's pitching. He's going to be one of our pitchers. One of those other guys, Tim Anderson and Jared Walsh, will go ahead and slide down to the utility spot when Shohei is pitching. So there we go, our utility guy, of course. Also thought about Yordan Alvarez, but nobody beats the value of Shohei Ohtani. That's it for our position players. We are now moving to the real full-time pitchers. Split this into like 5 starters, 4 relievers. So we have number 1, Jacob deGrom. That's right, short-haired deGrominator nowadays. Jacob deGrom is going to be our first starter. Remember, this is a 6-man rotation because Shohei is a pitcher for us. Next up, we're going to have Mr. Newly Cy Young'd out himself, Corbin Burns with the Brewers. Brewers got a solid pitching staff. A lot of development right there. So I don't doubt that he's going to be great for a long time to come. It just feels like some people just cannot hit his ball. Next starting pitcher, of course, none other than Cole 45. Garrett Cole right there, dominated. It says it right on the card. He's going to be our third or fourth, I guess, including Ohtani, starting pitcher right there. So we got second Yankee on the board. Garrett Cole. We can't forget about next pitcher, Jacob deGrom's new teammate. And a big 1-2 punch there. We got an orange parallel here for a little Mets action. Max, the crazy man, Scherzer, Mad Max as they call him. He is going to be our fifth pitcher total, fifth pitcher. And to round out the whole rotation, this is including Ohtani, is none other than Tight Pants Bueller himself. That's right, we got a little Dodger Blue parallel, this Bowman rookie. And Bueller is going to round out our starting pitchers. On to the relievers. Pretty much included 3 closers, and I wanted one actual true reliever. So again, Brewers pitching, unlike most teams, super good. So we have Mr. Airbender Devin Williams himself on the Dream Team Fantasy lineup. He was a Rookie of the Year, and now he is on the Dream Team Fantasy lineup as a relief pitcher. 3 players left, same team. Basically the setup guy, Devin Williams is the setup guy for him. Josh Hader, that's right, we're doubling up on Brewers relief pitchers here. The Williams-Hader combo, pretty deadly duo right there. So Josh Hader is technically our first closer, second relief pitcher there. Last 2 guys, might have guessed these last 2 guys. Liam Hendricks, of course, now with the White Sox, got a little purple parallel of him here. He is going to be another relief pitcher on the Dream Fantasy team. Liam Hendricks, he's got a lot of passion, that's for sure. And last but not least, the final player
included on the classic cards Dream Fantasy lineup, Raisel Iglesias.
That's right. Goes good with this card because he came from the Reds to the Angels, so looks like an Angels card from far away. We got Raisel Iglesias. He is insane. I think the Angels were something like 66-0 after the 8th inning because of him last year, and that was 66-0 with like a 500 Angels team or even under that. So Raisel Iglesias, he is going to round out the bullpen there. So that is the Fantasy Dream lineup, the full lineup. There it is. Everybody kind of colored them based on what team they come. Wanted to see it all colorful together. If you notice, there's a lot of red on the screen. I have no clue why that is. Next, we have to tell Clint what our number 1 pick would be, and I think you guys could guess it just based on the value. And again, I must reiterate, last year on fantasy, in real fantasy, I drafted him 101st. 101st. This year I'm selecting him first. That's right. For the value, nobody can beat the Showtime Shohei Ohtani. He is going to be the number 1 pick for our fantasy draft team. So that is all we have for the Fantasy Dream Team lineup. And Clint, of course, a big proponent of the Cardmunity and supporting each other. He wants to, she said, shout out 1 to 3 channels under 200 subs. So, of course, I went through some of my subscriptions just to look at who was under 200, because a lot of you guys that I wanted to aren't. So we're going to give 3 under 200, and then we're going to do some bonuses, because why not, right? So we got a shout out to Cammy's Card Breaks. Of course, I had to put another Angels fan there. So please go check out her channel, Tigers727. Great. Big Tigers fan, of course. Awesome guy too, so check him out. Then we got Sticks and Seams, Ken Griffey Super Collector. Check out his channel. So those are some channels under 200 subs, and why not some bonus? We got Vintage Card Steve, awesome dude. Craig B, hilarious videos, and Placata Cards Walter, Blue Jays fan up in Canada. Always sharing his passion for the hobby. He's got 2 young boys that like to rip some cards as well, so that's a fun dynamic there. Check all those guys out. As always, keep collecting, care for the cards, most importantly, care for each other. Please do go check out Swing Away Sportscards if you haven't. I'm sure most of all you have, but check him out. He's a big buddy over there, currently living in Japan, so it's kind of cool to get his perspective, see what he gets in. Sometimes he's got some Japanese releases. He does a lot of subscription boxes, all that stuff. A big Giants fan because he's from around where I am here, around these parts. So we will catch you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed the Dream Fantasy lineup.